All right, chances are if you watching this, you probably have some type of trading psychology issue. Your strategy is not the issue, but it's you. It's your psychology. You're making the same mistakes. You're constantly doing what you know you shouldn't be doing. And I want to tell you that it's not your fault. Um, I was listening to a psychologist speak, and she was basically just talking about just the deep rooted issues that we have, or the deep rooted, I guess, just tendencies that we have as humans, right? We were raised to have a sense of attachment to money, especially if you didn't come from, a high income household. If you didn't come from a home where having a lot of money was like something normal, you're going to have an attachment that is deep rooted in who you are. You are going to be a little bit more emotional when it comes to trading losses, when it comes to making money, when it comes to just everything as a trader because of how you were raised and your background. You can't fix certain things like that. But what I do want to say is you can, my bad. What I do want to say is you can do things to help. Now, you're not going to necessarily fix it. Some stuff is just in us. Some stuff is just how we are as humans, and you can't change that. But don't let that discourage you. Do not let that be the reason why you still don't see success, because there's an analogy I use that I've been using more recently with my students where I'm basically telling them, like, yo, you don't even have to necessarily fix the issue that you're having. And that sounds a little cliche. Like, what do you mean? Like, we should always try to fix our issues. Yes, you should. But when it comes to certain issues, look at them. I like to use this analogy. So, look, if I know myself am afraid of snakes and spiders, and there's a room with a bunch of snakes and spiders in them, I'm not gonna go into that room. Obviously, I'm gonna stay away from that room. I'm gonna stay as far away from possible as the door. Like, I might even leave the house, right? It's the same thing with trading. If you know that you're prone to spiraling, if you know that you have an issue where you let your emotions get in the way of your trading, and you like get in the way of your logical thinking. For one, you need to figure out why and where this happens at before you can actually kind of apply this system. But you need to figure out where this happens. I'll give you a couple of examples, right? Let's say for the first example, let's say if I know over leveraging, if I take a larger loss than usual, I'm more likely to go on two. What is the quick fix to that? Stop putting on extra size. Lower your risk. Be patient. De-risk. Simple as that. Because then that eliminates the whole possibility of you even taking a crazy big loss. That's the first one. Let's just say another one. If I have a problem with starting to think irrationally after I take 2 to 3 trades, that's when I start to spiral and I'm more likely to blow my accounts. All right, cool. I'm not going to take more than 2 to 3 trades per day. I might not even take more than 2 trades per day, just so that I can stay away from that as a possibility in itself. You're staying away from these rooms where you know you're prone to mess up, where you're prone to make mistakes. Because sometimes we can't always patch the mistakes. We can't always be perfect. We can't always necessarily just be robotic. We're humans with emotions, and sometimes stuff happens. I get that. I can tell y'all for myself, it happens to me. So what we can't control is what we can control. You can control whether or not you allow yourself to even get close to the doorknob, to get close to the door to open it, like, because then you might fall victim to temptation. You might just fall into the trap. You don't want to do that. So what do? You do the things you know, or you don't do things that you know will put you in that. Another example: if I know that I have an issue with, let's just say, FOMOing into trades, or I just have this fear of missing out as a whole. You need to understand that trading is a long-term game. Now, this is a little bit different, but trading is a long-term game. If it is not your model, if your model isn't present, don't take the entry. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times the market moving is just manipulation. It's just to psych you out, just to fake you out, to make you lose money. Like, literally, the market is not in your favor. The market is not here for you to make money. The market is the market, and then the market will always move. They don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings, your system, your strategy, nothing. The market gonna do what it's gonna do. So trust that, understand that it is a long-term game. My fault, some speed bumps, but I understand it's a long-term game though, and this stuff isn't going nowhere. months upon months upon years upon decades even to trade and to catch more setups. They're gonna come. They're gonna present themselves. They're not going nowhere. Um, but like, yeah, if I know that I'm more prone to crashing out, or if I'm more prone to making errors after these things, then I'm gonna just stop doing the things that push me to the edge. It's as simple as that. And I think that this is something that helped me a lot because I would constantly find myself making these same mistakes over and over and over and over again until it's just like, yo, what is wrong with me? What am I like? Why can I not physically or just mentally wrap my head around just not making the same mistakes? Why do I keep doing this? Why am I failing still? Why am I just letting myself do this when I know I'm not supposed to do it? And sometimes it's rooted in ourselves. It's not even your fault. So how do you overcome that? You have to analyze yourself, analyze your data, analyze your thought process, reflect, and figure out how to stay away from those doors. Figure out how to avoid the doors where you are more likely to be afraid of it, whatever you want to call it. If I know if I go to that door, I'm gonna be scared and I might cry or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna stay away from that door. I don't want to cry. I don't want to be scared. Like, simple as that. Put it like that, and I promise you, you'll be able to see more success. Sometimes it's not always your fault. Sometimes certain things you can't change, but you can't control your actions. Control what you can control. And I'm gonna let this video be short. I'm not gonna talk your heads off too much longer. I'm gonna leave it at that. I want y'all to be able to learn and grow with me. I'm gonna continue to share stuff, continue to share my thoughts. That's something I've been thinking about more recently. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Though, thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. I have a free Discord in my bio. Join that up. Learn with me, chat with me, whatever the case may be. Ask me questions. I'm here for y'all. So I appreciate y'all though. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one.